y'all, it is Leah with a Y, and welcome back to my channel if you are new. Today's story is going to be about basically me. Somebody threatened to whoop my ass over a guy that wasn't claiming them. And I'm going to give y'all a little bit of background information on this story, but stay tuned for this one because it's a juicy one. It's really good, and I think y'all will be thoroughly entertained. Okay? All right. Let me give y'all a little background on what made me want to tell this story. I posted this on my TikTok account, and I'll link all my social medias in the description so that y'all can follow me there. So boom, I posted this on my TikTok account a couple days ago, and I told this story. I got a lot of comments of people really being surprised that blind people get involved in drama or that blind people fight. And I found it hilarious because I'm just like, what makes y'all think we can't fight? Like, what is that? What's that about? Okay. I've been involved in a couple instances myself where I've had to fight people because, you know, of course they put their hands on me. I'm never going to provoke a confrontation, but that's another story for another day. But I said all that to say, like, blind people are normal people, and we get bullied and we get picked on just like anybody else. We're no different. And this story is really no different from, any other story that you may have. So let me just kind of give y'all a little bit of backstory as much as I can without making this video entirely too long and without boring you to death. Okay. I went to blind training in 2018, and blind training is basically another way of saying like school for blind people, blind adults. And basically the goal of blind training is to give you the skills you need to live an independent life and be a productive member of society. So you'll learn how to navigate using your cane. You'll also learn how to use different modes of transportation as a blind person. So ride sharing services like Ubers and Lyfts, public transportation like buses, trains, planes, etc. Stuff like that. So you'll learn O&M. You'll learn how to use assistive technology like screen readers such as JAWS, VoiceOver, NVDA, etc. You'll also learn how to use Braille notes and Braille displays if you are not familiar with those already. And you'll learn how to cook and do just some housekeeping type stuff. So stuff like that. Okay. In 2019, while I was there, I met a guy named Vine, and he and I are still really good friends to this day. Vine was somebody that people talked about when I was in high school and I went to school for the blind. He went to the school for the blind years after I had left my education video. But to kind of summarize it, I went to the school for the blind when I was in kindergarten. I ended up leaving, and in a couple of years, I think after I left, he came back. And so then he ended up graduating, and then sometime after that, I ended up coming back. So he was somebody that they always talked about, and they had pretty much nothing but good things to say about him for the most part. I never really heard a bad thing about him. And everything that they said turned out to be true because he did turn out to be a really, really, really good guy, a really good friend, etc., etc. So yeah, I met him. Now I met another girl named Allie when I returned to the school for the blind. She was one of those girls that a lot of people just didn't really click with or get along with, and she always seemed to have an attitude, and we never could explain why. We never could figure out why, and nobody ever wanted to. It's been said that she kind of went to like a mental hospital, whatever, for some time because for whatever reasons. But yeah, now Allie and Vaughn, when she was in high school and he was in college or however it went, they started talking and they tried to do the relationship thing, but according to Vaughn, she just had too much going on and it wasn't going to work, and so they decided they would remain friends. And so that was the extent of their relationship. Now they came, Allie and a couple of the other girls that I went to high school with came up to the center, for the summer. They had gotten jobs, and they were also there to kind of do the little program up there that they have for the youth or whatever. And so she was there, and her and Vaughn, obviously they spoke and they talked and they were cordial and everything like that. But everybody would notice that every time Vaughn would start talking to other girls, be it me or any other staff or even my friend whom we'll call V, she would always just get an attitude. She would not like the fact that he was talking to other females. And so we used to bring it to his attention all the time, like, we don't know why she's so upset, so mad at the fact that you're talking to other people. And we used to tell him all the time, this girl is acting crazy. You got to be telling her something, putting something in her ear, or you got to be fucking her really good. You got to be doing something to make this girl act like that. And he insisted that they were nothing but friends and that he wasn't doing anything. And you know, all that good stuff. And so I'm just like, okay, it is what it is. I didn't let it affect my friendship with him, because at the end of the day, what y'all have going on ain't got nothing to do with me. And if she's really secure in what y'all have, other females, other women would not be an issue for her. You know what I'm saying? So obviously, whatever relationship they had, be it a friendship, a fuck buddy type of thing, a relationship, whatever, you were not secure enough in that. You know what I'm saying? And I don't owe you an explanation about a damn thing that I have going on with another human being, because quite frankly, if you're supposed to be involved with them, you go to them and ask them. I don't mind telling you, but why would I? Why should I have to? You know what I'm saying? So one day, I decided that I wanted to go into the TV room and just kind of sit and congregate with everybody. And so I don't know where I was coming from, but I walk into the TV room and I go to sit next to Vaughn, or try to find a seat. And they were like, well, you can't sit right there because Allie's right there. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, I'll just sit right here on the ottoman. I don't want to feel left out, so I'll sit on the ottoman, because I don't want to start nothing with nobody, and I don't want it to make it look like I'm trying to steal somebody's man or something like that. And you know, people were chuckling and giggling and snickering and all that kind of stuff, because it was funny. It was funny to me, and obviously it was funny to everybody else as well. She got upset at that, so upset in fact that she ended up getting up and leaving the room. And she goes into her room and starts being really aggressive and like she starts slamming her door and kicking the door and all, just like all this extra shit that she was doing, right? So we reported to the staff, and we let the staff know that like she's just being really aggressive and she's slamming doors and being destructive to property. And so they had to make a record of it, because we had been telling them about her before, you know, and they probably pulled her to the side and talked to her, but nothing seemed to work, because she never had any respect for anybody. Like, she just didn't give a fuck about what anybody had to say to her. So after that, we kind of try to keep our distance from her and try to limit our interactions with this girl, because at this point, nobody up here wants to have to beat your ass because you have a slick mouth and you got a nasty ass attitude. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to have to do that. So we stayed away and we limited our interactions. We ended up having like a barbecue for Juan and the other guy that was at the center. They were a part of the business program. They weren't necessarily like clients, but they stayed there on campus, you know, so that they can be close enough to attend their classes for their business program, so they can get their business license and start their own business. So they thought that, you know, in a couple days it would be their last day there at the center. Obviously, they ended up staying for a little bit longer than what they thought, but yeah. So we had a barbecue to kind of celebrate them and their accomplishment and things like that. Now, this is on a Sunday. Later on that afternoon, I get a call from my friend V. And V is telling me that her ex has called her and said that Allie is going around telling people that she want to whoop my ass, or that she's going to, or whatever, however the words were. Either way, ass whooping was involved, and it had my name on it. And so I'm just like, I'm like, what are you talking about? And it has something to do with Vaughn. And I'm like, you know, I find it really funny that everybody else knows about this but me. If you have an issue with me, why don't you talk to me? Why don't you tell me what you have going on, what our issue is, so that we can resolve it? Because talking to everybody else isn't going to work or whatever. So once I got off the phone with my friend, I start telling everybody about it. And I'm joking at this point because it's hilarious to me. It's pure comedy. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't really tripping on it, but it did bother me a little bit. Not so much that she wanted to whoop my ass, but for the sheer fact of, you told everybody else but me. You told somebody who knew me, basically. Like, it was gonna get back to me eventually. So like, girl, are you really gonna do what you said you were gonna do, or are you just talking? So I told my roommate that I was with at the time, and she ended up telling the staff, she said, I know you don't care, but like, we have to put this on record so that you know, people will know about it. Now y'all, I walked the halls by myself. I slept with my room door unlocked, even though I knew the history of this girl, like her mental history and stuff like that to a certain extent, and I knew how crazy she could be. I didn't give a fuck. I didn't care, because you're not gonna make a threat to do something to me, and then I'm not about to sit up here and run, and you know what I'm saying, and be scary. Like, I'm not, and I'm not even trying to talk like I'm just a tough girl and I'm just a hard ass and I just be ready to beat everybody. Like, no, that's not me, but I'm also not scary either. So that happened. She had ample time and opportunity to whoop my ass during the whole week that she was there, and nothing ever happened. And I know she wasn't serious, because we sit in the cafeteria at lunch, okay? that is the perfect time to get somebody. If you don't have the same classes with the person whose ass you want to be, you're going to, if you really want to whoop their ass, you're going to find a way to do so. You know what I'm saying? You know that we have lunch at the same time every day. You know where I sit at because you can see. I was literally a couple tables away from her, y'all, and tell me why she didn't do nothing. She did nothing. So I took it as a joke. I ended up having to go to the director's office and report it, or give her like a synopsis or a summary about what the hell was going on. And I really couldn't tell her shit because I didn't know. I didn't know what the hell was going on for. As far as I knew, everybody had moved on from that day in the TV room, and we had just went on about our business and whatever. She ended up having to leave. They cut her stay there short because she was bullying and being an ass and just being destructive to property overall. And they can't have that there. And at the same time that they were telling her she had to leave, they also told me that my last day was coming up, and they told me that within a week of me having to leave. So I had to hurry up and pack my stuff and like call my sister and ask her if she can come and pick me up. And that left a bad taste in my mouth with them too, because it's just like, y'all waited all this time to tell me. But anyways, so long story short, my ass never got beat. I am fine. I'm still alive. And I also want to add in here too, I had a boyfriend at the time. I never told him about it because I didn't think it was a big deal. And plus he also thought that Vaughn and I had something going on, as did she. And so I never told him, but he ended up calling me and he found out about it. And he was like, I only found out because of such and such and such and such told me. I'll do some story times on him as well because he's a whole character in himself. But basically he had no hope. He had no hope, no faith in me. He said that, you know, Alicia, it was a wrestler and she probably whooped my ass and stuff like that. We're not dating anymore. I just thought I'd let y'all know that. But yeah. So the moral of the story is that blind people are normal people. We are normal people who just happen to be blind. Okay? We get involved in shit all the time. I have some other story times about blind people who've gotten themselves involved in shit. So we get involved in shit all the time. Some of us are not as smart when it comes to choosing, you know, the people that we hang around with, when it comes to knowing when to just avoid certain situations, and we just get involved. And then some of us, like myself, are innocent bystanders and don't know what the hell's going on and don't even know how any of this happened. So yeah, I'm still waiting on the ass whooping if she decides she wants to give me one. Maybe she's not even worried about it anymore because she probably has somebody else, but hey, you never know with this girl. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope this video was entertaining, and I hope you all learned that blind people do get involved in shit, and it is possible for us to fight people and things like that. I hope y'all learned that we're not the innocent beings that y'all think we are. We are assholes, some of us, and then, you know, some of us are actually good people. So like this video, comment on this video, and let me know if you've ever been in a situation similar to that. Also, if you have not already and you are new and you just now stumbled across my channel, do me a solid and subscribe to my channel. Thank you to all 15 of my subscribers. And turn on my notifications so that you'll be notified of the next time I decide to upload a video. And I thank you all for watching, and until the next video, y'all take care.